Okay, so I also started to record this, and if there's anything good comes out of this, then I'm going to put it probably on YouTube or some other place. But for me, in the meantime, let me try to do this. So the idea here came today in the morning when I was giving actually a Python talk, and after the presentation, I left the screen sharing on. And I kept fixing my slides, and some people were there and commenting sometimes on that. And the idea here is now that I'll try to learn something, write some code, and do it live and see how it works, both for you, so it's whether it's interesting or not, and for myself, if I freak out totally, or what happens if I can keep talking, if I want to talk. Whatever. So here is and obviously I switched to the wrong window. So here is a terminal, and it's in Python, but doesn't matter. Work. Let's just create a directory here called example, and let's work in there. And what I wanted to experiment with this is in MetaCpan. Actually, I don't even need the directory probably. So there is this module that I saw recently, which is called test BDD cucumber, and I even played with it because it was a client. Yeah, will no Python. Okay, no Python for you. And so I was working with a client, and where we wanted to try BDD because they are the developers, and then there are some people in the business people, let's say, and we were trying to figure out a way to use to create some test that's good for them as well. I think actually I have a test BDD, sorry, no, it's not there. And is it here? Test. I thought I cloned this, but apparently not, or I don't know where. So let me do this now. So the thing was that I went to the source code of this and found that there are some nice examples here, and I wanted to try those examples. So I'm going to, maybe I just download it, I don't know. I could just go to the repository and clone the repository. That's probably easier for me than downloading the zip file. So I will also have the examples. So git clone, and I'm just cloning the repository for this project. It's lowercase t, so that's why I couldn't find it. Test BDD. Okay, so it's there, right? You see, actually I had it's already cloned, but nevertheless, so I can just get rid of it now. Okay, so I sort of have remembered that I had this in the C1 directory, but I didn't remember the path. I thought that it's going to be capital T. So git status, just to see what's going on here, and let me update if there is any change there, but there is no. And also I think I actually already installed it. Wrong command, cpan m. Okay, yes, yeah, so it's already installed, and as you can see, 0.75. So we can try it. There is a symbolic link in the Git repository. That I didn't know that it works this way. Okay, so there is this in the examples. I saw that which one? The digest was, I think, pretty easy, and let me try to go over that. That was a little. Relatively simple one, so I'm trying to go over this one now. So the idea in BDD is that you basic feature, that you write some prose basically. instead of writing real tests, you let the business people or whoever write some prose and explain what are the tests. And well, this is because this is such a technical module, so it might not be that useful, because the users are also very technical people, so they might not like to write this way. But this was a simpler module than the simple case than the other one. So maybe I can see the other one as well. And I just wanted to go over this. And what so it looks so in general it has like this structure of given, when, and then. Given, when, then. The end is not really sort of part of it. And if I understand correctly, and I really hope that that's part of the idea of this having this live, that some people who might have more experience with this kind of stuff might comment on this. Okay, so as I understand BDD, first of all, the BDD people, okay, or at least the few I heard, say that it's not a testing, it's development. So it's behavior-driven development. There's nothing testing in there, okay? And some people think, and even this module name is called test, it's in the test namespace, and it's used for testing. But the idea, I think, behind the BDD people is that it's not for testing. It's just for developers to be able to communicate with the business people. And but we have tests there. And then the idea is that you have given, so you write these scenarios or text that it says given some basic condition, okay, so let's say a digest of MD5 object in this case, and then you have a when, which is a further condition, and I'm not really sure, I'm not really clear on the separation between what goes into given and what goes into when. These are sort of both the input, the input, and what comes after the then is the expected output. What I could sort of imagine is that what goes into given, that's sort of the what we would call fixture in the testing world. So that's like given we have a database that's already set up, and then when we call insert, then there's going to be a new line in the database. Okay, sort of that's like the database level. So the given part is, in my understanding or in my view, is the fixture, and then when is the input, and the then part is the output. What I see here in this, I don't know if it's just in this implementation or not, that you can add several of these input parameters, and in this case, and you combine them with the end keyword. So you say, given a digest MD5 object, okay, so that's like the basics of it, basic environment. When I add this foo, bar, and baz to the object, and I have added bet, ban, and shan to the object, okay, I'm not reading exactly properly, then we have two expected output. Then the hex output is going to be this string, and the base 64 output is this string. And supposedly business people can read this. I mean, the people whose business is to create MD5, they will probably be able to just know, oh, okay, for these strings, this is the output. Okay, they will just say, like, you wake them up at night, and that's how they live and sleep and dream. And then the system, which is based on the Cucumber idea that, if I'm not mistaken, originally was written in Ruby. The system can read this, run the test behind the scenes, so use the MD5 object, give these inputs, and then it will check that the output are these strings. Mohammed wants something hello world. Yeah, I think I wanted to get to some hello world, but it's yeah, I'm probably trying to get. I'm going to get there. Okay, I hope that we're going to get there in the next half an hour or so. Just first, let me go through this. And I totally agree that it's too complex for beginners. The thing is that it's not that the Cucumber module understands this free text. What happens is that here in the this is the file called basic features, but there is another directory there called step definitions, and in that directory there is a Perl script, and that Perl script is actually using the test Cucumber. It's a step file, and here you have regular expressions that match these strings. So the text here is not free text. It just looks English, okay, or it is English, okay, but it still has, you as the developer of this thing have to be able to match this almost free text and map the values to what you need. And I think it's not hello world, but it's gonna work. So first of all, I don't know what, I think this feature part is only just free text. And I don't know what this background is actually here. Maybe there is also something. So let's focus on this scenario. Okay, there is this check MD5 is just free text, is just let's say the name of the test. And then what is this given MD5 object? And then how does it translate to actual code? So here you can see the given part, the given, and it says a usable, and in quotes there needs to be some text class. So this is it's actually object. It's looking for an object. So this is going to match. Okay, so this won't match because it's looking for a class. Okay. Now I understand, because when I was working through this, actually I worked through this with those people in that company. So I'm partially familiar of this already. So this a usable something class is actually matching this one. Okay, the background part. So I guess what happens is that the Cucumber, when I run it, and I should show you how it's running. So I just switch to the command line, and in the documentation it says Perkin. Okay, and just I need to run this Perkin, and it will run the tests. Okay, so you can see it ran all these tests. Okay, that's the output, and it can give all kind of flags. The nice thing, so it's testing a module that's already installed, so that's why I don't need to tell it where to find the module. It will load the module. So what it does when I ran this Perkin, it reads this file. I guess it just throws away the feature, then reads the background part. Maybe you can have any text here, I don't know. But there is this given part, and then there is this regular expression that says, I guess for the given, this is the regular expression. When this matches, execute this function, function, anonymous function. And what this does, so there is a regular expression, and this is going to capture some text, and we say a usable something class. In our case, this is the word digest. So what we have here is this C is, I guess, this C object, okay, will finds it and Benny find it interesting. Okay, C is an object that's provided by the Cucumber, I guess, and then it says C matches something. So this will match. This will contain whatever this match. This is like the $1 would be in the regular matching of Perl. So this is what matched this one. I saw another case somewhere here, okay, where there are two matches, and in this case it uses C matches, and it converts back to an array, because this is a reference to an array. So this C matches is a reference to an array, and then it gets the type and the expected. So that's later. But so this C matches is basically a reference to an array that holds the values that would be $1 to $3 of this regular expression. Okay, and so whenever the BDD sees this, okay, yes, so you write your own regex parser for every plain English test case string. Yes, that's the case basically. And that's why for a long time I've heard about BDD and I saw these explanations quite a lot. And I've never figured out whether it's useful or not, because this seems like another promise of, oh, you can write tests without knowing to program. Okay, like all of these visual test thingies. Sorry, I'll have to drink. So there are all of these visual testing applications that they say, oh, that they test GUIs or web applications, but still GUIs, the GUI part of the web. And they are sold like, okay, now you just click here, click there, and you don't need to know how to program in order to write automated tests. And then they sell it for, I don't know, thousands of dollars per seat. And then you figure out that, okay, 2% of the work is the recording part, and 98% then you take these recordings and write programs around it, okay? Are you saying, Will, that your client have lots of tests in BDD or just have lots of tests? Because I'm not saying that writing tests and talking to the client and writing tests is bad. What I'm saying is that I couldn't, and I still really, for me it's difficult to see that a client is going to be able to write text in such a restricted grammar that our parser can understand. Okay, so basically that's what is this whole programming idea, right? We could write in assembly or even in machine code like 37 and 42 and whatever, but we would prefer to write it, well, I would prefer probably to write it in Hungarian or Hebrew, or maybe it's not because it's right to left, but let's say in English. Okay, that would be probably what we would want to write code. But then we can't write a compiler for it. So we have these restricted programming languages, and then for which we are, or at least people like Will, can write compilers. Okay, not all of us, but what we are saying here is basically writing some domain-specific language, basically, but still the people who write it will have to work with the constraints of the language, of the grammar. And I'm not sure that the majority of the business people would be ready to be that strict that you have to be. Okay, so you can have more spaces or less spaces, but if you put something in plural or singular and then suddenly it doesn't work, and so all the stuff that we go through with programming, so all the little things. Anyway, so this is what happened. That this is the first thing, and then in the scenario we have this given a digest MD5 object. So this one is matched by this regular exception. Given a digest something object. So this thing is going to match MD5. And this is going to be executed because of that. And says digest new, and I guess it says the string MD5. It gets an object, and then we have the regular test more OK function, checking if there is an object. Okay, we created an object. And then we store it in this S, which is, I don't know what the S stands for. Maybe it stands for scenario. It's sort of a cache that allows us to put in data and then use it in other functions. So instead of having global variables, we have this global object that I guess it's per scenario. So this is how we set up the test. This is the basic setup of the test, that we created an instance or object of this digest module. So the first thing was, the background was loading the module, so using the module, use statement, importing the module. Sorry, the Python language here. And the second one is going to be the digest, calling the constructor and creating the instance. And then is the input of the code. So it says, when I have added some string to the object. Okay, this is the next step. And this is when I have added something to the object. Okay, and then this something matches the string that we have here. So in this case, it's foo bar buzz. And so what we call it is basically, this is the object, like the object that we created here, and we call the add method of it, and then pass the string to it. And the end part is also matching the same. So although it's marked as when, but the end part is also matching the same when clauses, okay, that are defined here. And it's going to match this one because I've added some string to the object. Okay, so it matches the same thing. And I guess the other one here, okay, this one is going to be in some other test case. Okay, so this is the input of the test, and then here is what we are checking, the output. So it says then the hex output is some string. So how does it look like? This matches. So then the hex output is and that string. So the hex is going to be in this type, and the string that we are expecting is going to be in this expected, because they are the two matches. So $1 and $2. Right. Ferki. How are you? Yeah, it says he says it's in Hungarian as well. Yeah, I saw an example in German that was funny because the client is actually German speaking. And it was funny to see the example and say, oh, you can actually write in German the test cases. And that could actually be a lot more useful. So that idea I can maybe understand better if you can bridge the business people who don't speak English or don't speak English that well, but speak, let's say, German or Hungarian or I don't know, Hebrew. It's going to be really difficult because the directions, or the writing direction of the language, but could be interesting. But it's also the grammar. So how do you parse Hungarian? I mean, really, that's going to be a homework for you, Ferki. Okay, so, and Will thinks that the BDD might be too clever for some situations. I'm not sure what you mean by too clever here. My feeling is that people won't want to. I mean, if someone is writing here, I have, okay, because they have that day, then it won't work, okay, and why? It's English, still English, okay. So actually, let's let's see what happens now. So I saved it, and I run this Perkin again, and well, the color is slightly different now, okay. So it apparently failed. Let's see what happens if I run proof. Well, it didn't like it, but I think in the documentation it was saying something. Test. I don't know how. Okay, so I ran Perkin now and it failed. So at least wow. Okay. Now I don't understand. Okay, not this one. I run this one and I check the exit code and it's successful. Okay. Now I guess it didn't understand me. What happens if I go back to this one and run it again? Now it's everything greenish and bluish. So that brown or whatever color is here, brown yellow, is probably indicating, it probably indicates the failure, but I don't see it in the exit code. Okay, so here in the exit code is still 0 and it was 0 earlier. So that's an interesting thing to find. I will have to figure out how to see the errors. Okay, let me dress down for this. It's gonna be more difficult. Okay, so anyway, let's go back to understanding the code, and then once we have it, then we'll try to figure out how to find that the test actually failed. So here is the hex output is something, and here is the test code. So we the type and the expected, and then this code, which is a really funny thing. I don't know if you know this. What is this? It took me quite a while to understand what this code does, but it basically creates a lookup table, a hash which is a lookup table, and then uses the type as the key of it. So the method here is going to be the value. Okay, so instead of creating a variable which is a hash and then looking up the key and assigning the value to this method, instead of that, the author created on the fly hash and then automatically looked up, which is in one way it's nice once you understand what happens, but I was a little bit surprised by this. The exit code was fixed in, but I have, I think it was, I have 75 here. So maybe it was unfixed in 75. But thanks for checking, Ferki. Do you use the word Ferki for yourself, by the way, normally, or Ferry, or Ferenc, or how do other people call you? Okay, so this was this lookup table, okay, and then the method is going to be, because in our case this is hex, right? In the first case it says hex, and this is the output, okay. So yeah, Ferki. So hex is the key that the test case gave. So this is going to be hex digest, the method. And so we take the object that we stored here at the beginning and call the hex digest method on it, and we are expecting that this is going to be the hex digest. And then it also calls the base 64 method and checks whether this is going to be the output. Okay, so this was one scenario, and then this is a nice one where you can have parameterize your tests. So basically we have here a given, in this time it's a SHA-1 object, so it's okay. And then here we have these placeholders. So the regex for the when case is going to still match it. The when I've added this because this matches, it doesn't match just word characters, it matches any characters. It would also eat if there are quotes, but let's... Okay, so it can be easily broken by adding quotes there, I guess. So we have this placeholder data and then another placeholder for the output. And here we have examples. So it will take these examples and one by one call this whole scenario with the various sets of data. So these two. So it's going to be foo, and this is going to be the hex output, and bar, and this is the hex output, and so on. So this is nice, but then again, I have no idea if someone is making a typo here, how friendly this system is going to be, especially if someone writes incorrect text here, slightly problematic text, then it's not good. Okay, so that was the first part of it. Let's go on. What else do we have here? So here there was this other one. Given a digest MD5 object, that's the same beginning like earlier. So the two givens, and yeah, and when I added the following to the object, okay, so this text matches this regular expression when I've added the following to the object, and then I see that there is this C data. Okay, so there's no capturing in this regular expression. This is not even a regular expression, I see. Okay, this is just the same plain string. And okay, so this matches this text, and I guess whatever comes after it in triple quotes, that's really Pythonish, right? In triple quotes, I'm just joking, Will. So this is going to be the input. Okay, this is going to be in this C data, and this is what we add to the object. Okay, so that was one, and then the then part is the same. Okay, so the then part is just checking. Then the hex output is this string. Okay, so I guess we have this, but I still don't understand the failure. Snake knife. Yeah. Okay. I wonder, okay, so there is something here, but I always like to do this. Let's see what are the tests here. So we had the examples, so let's check. What I would like to know, okay, so what I like to do, and I did it a couple of CPAN modules, is that I have a bunch of examples, fully working examples of code, like here, okay, like this one, fully working example, and that's really nice. But then I have the test that runs the example and checks whether the example returns the expected values, okay, because I wanted to make sure that, because I think it's a nice way to basically have acceptance tests for my module. Okay, let's call them acceptance tests, so it's not unit test, even though I know that, well, yeah, small things. And to make sure that the tests, that the examples are working in the next version as well. So what I wanted to see is that if the examples directory can be found here, if it's mentioned here. And it says, well, there is this regression, top few features. So there is these examples, okay, localized feature. Let me see what's going on here. Let's see how this, okay. This one. This test, this is one of the tests that uses the examples directory. So it goes to these two examples files, and it just runs the parser on it. So what I would want to have is a test like this. T whatever number. What number do you like? Create an 91 and examples T. Okay, so well, I don't know how all the other tests are written. So they say something like this. Okay, and then we use where is this Perkins thing? Is this here? Yes, so this is here. So I'm going to execute that. Let's try this for this example. Okay, so for this example specifically, that was the digest. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. So let's hard code it for now. My example, and then we can go over them maybe. So I would like to run the examples now. So where I need to run with $x, so this Perl, and I run. I guess I need to do the -ilib. So everything is in lib here, right? Yes. So it's gonna load the module that we are actually testing. Maybe it should be blib, I don't know. I can do this lib. So I would run this system. Yeah, I don't know if there we have what is it using? It's using dist ini. Okay. Dist ini, distzilla. So I never really used dist ini, so I don't have the capture module. I really like the test capture. No test. Okay, what is it called? Tiny capture. But we don't have it here, so I'm not sure I want to add it. Gonna be interesting to see. But I wanted to capture the output of this. But in any case, this is the main part here is now my exit code is this one, right? And I'm running the example. It's not examples, example, the current example, and I want to make sure that is exit 0 and exit code of example, and then done testing. Okay, so this should get status. Okay, this should work like this one. Okay, so it worked, and it gave an exit code of 0, which is what here we expected. And then what we would like to see, I guess, I don't know, what happens if I example digest what happens if I give it another directory that doesn't exist. Okay, that at least gives some error message. Okay, so now we should see there we have a couple of examples, and I guess we could just run all of the tests. So the first thing could be is to list all of the directories there, right? So my whatever is examples. How do we do this? Open my dir. Open dir my dir examples or die, and then examples equal to read dir, and I know that you like to close everything. Close. People were complaining in the Facebook group that I didn't close the file handler in a 3-line long script. So I'm going to close the directory handle, and then I guess diag explain I don't never remember this thing. So examples. Okay, what is in there? Okay, so it has the list, but it also includes dot and two dots, and of course this file name. So we will remove that. Map, not map, grep. When the dollar underscore is not equal to dot, and dollar underscore is not equal to two dots, right? And minus d, the dir slash dollar underscore, something like this. Okay, now it's empty. Yes, Will wants me to, why is it empty? Okay, Will wants me to close the file handlers. Okay, but it's not equal to dollar and is this what is the problem? Okay, because this I used the dir. Okay, examples. That wasn't a good idea. It's much better now. Okay, so we have a list of the directories, and then I can go over and let's call it not dir, but let's call it dir handler, dh. Okay, where else I have it? Here and here. Why should I use or here? And works perfectly fine. I just had to put in the correct name here. I put $dir here instead of the examples directory. And the dir is going to be this one. So dir is going to be this one. Examples. And then now I'm going to replace this dir and examples. Where is this? Dir and yes, and here, and then I can go over this for my example. In the examples, I do all these tests now. But I have the example. Do I need it here? So I can, the example is good here, but here I need to put in pass to example, and that would be dir and not digest, but the example, right? And here is I have the pass to example. Oops, I forgot it. And it would be better to use double quotes in this case. Okay, so I'm going to go over the examples here, the directories that are in the examples directory, and for each one of them I run with the current Perl, I load the module and I run them and execute this code and check whether they are all exit code 0. And it takes some time, but they are all exit code 0. So now we can get rid of these diagnostics, at least for now. Okay. But this doesn't test what I wanted to test. Okay, it just tests that the examples are actually exiting with exit code 0. So what happens if now I'm going to what I would like to do is create an example that okay, I would like to create an example that should fail. So what now I had this brilliant idea of taking one of the examples, I can use specifically this digest, and replace a single random character in it, and then it should fail. Okay, it doesn't matter which character I'm replacing, the whole thing, it should fail. Okay, but we had some specific ideas that we wanted to test. Now I don't want to change it here in the examples, digest, features, basic feature. I don't want to change it here because in the repository, because well, another test might be running. I don't want to change the code. I would like to copy these files to some other directory and then run them and then make the change there, because well, I don't want to change code which is committed to the repository. So let me try this. Okay, I've been talking for more than an hour now. That's horrible. Actually, I should commit this, right? So what should I do now? I should start creating a branch. So git status. I have this test. So let me git checkout -b tests. So we are going to add some tests. Manvar is wondering about another using glob. Maybe it's better what Manvar wrote. So let's try to see this. So I created the branch. Now just to see proof t. This one still passes. Okay, so git add, git check in. I type it fully just for you. I have the shortcut, but okay, so people who are going to watch this. So git commit -m add test to verify examples. Okay, so now T, this one. So this is the suggestion. Well, my at ex equal to, and let me copy paste this one. I don't copy paste it because it also has different things. So Manvar suggests glob and then yes, dir and star. Well, sort of okay, and then let's diag this one. Let's see what is in there. Ex, and then we can also exit this because I don't really want to see that. Will fail, the test will fail, but this is what we get. So we're going to get full names, and it will also include the name of the file. So I still have to filter for directories, but this way we get the full names, and we don't get the dot and the two dots. So and I can't write a better glob expression here because there can be anything there, right? So I don't know. It's gonna be shorter. And then I won't have to do this, the pass example, and all this playing with it, which might be better. But I don't know if this is what's better. Well, let's go with that. Okay. So I still need to do this. Okay, I still need to grep and say -d $_. Okay, and now if I run this, then it will exclude this file. Okay, so we won't have the file, so it's better. And then examples. So now I'm going to have that one. Remove this. Then I don't need all these open dir and close dir, right? Oh, well, I don't need to close the directory handler. And then I don't need this one, and I can use example, this one, right? So did I? Yeah, it's running the tests. Okay, so well, actually, let me also see the verbose mode, because that's why we. Oh, okay. So in the verbose mode, we have all the garbage here. That's why I would prefer to have the capturing, so and redirecting and so on. So the tiny capture I would prefer, because then I won't see all this output. And this actually, okay, so let's first of all save this one. Okay, git diff and git add git commit -m refactor test to use glob. Thanks to Manvar for suggesting. Okay, so I don't need to close because I don't open the file handler, the directory handler. That's why I don't need to close it. Okay, so because I'm using glob now. Okay, that's the solution for not closing file directory handlers. Okay, so we have now this one, but I would like really to get rid of that output. But before that, let's actually write the test that I came for. So there is, I never remember these things, meta cpan pod file temp, or how is it called, or not temp dir. Oh, what is going on here? It's not tile, it's file, right? This is the name of the module, file temp, and it comes with Perl, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I can use this one, use file temp, then I create a temporary directory. I need to import the temp dir. Okay, so I import qw temp dir, and I create. Oh, I'm glad that Will is agreeing with me. Okay, temp dir, and I clean up one. Okay, so this is I don't have them. Here it is. Here's the example: temp dir cleanup, and it gives the directory. So it's the temp dir. Okay, so we have a temporary directory. Let's use it here, and then we are going to copy specifically the examples digest, because that's what we had here. So we're going to copy to the temporary directory. How do we copy? Oh. I have them in my slides. I never remembered it. Perl Maven copy directory. It won't be the one that I wanted. Yeah, file copy. Okay, so file copy, it's file copy. Okay, using file copy. Okay, you not there. Use file copy and file copy, source file, destination file, but I would like to copy the directory. Something is beeping on my phone. Okay, let me plug in this thing so it won't beep that loud. Okay. So I can call the, I need the copy function. And let's not clean up because so I will be able to see it. I'm going to comment out these tests for now, so we won't run the tests because I don't want to spend time on that one for now. Examples, this one, examples, digest, right? So example, digest, and we are copying that to the temp dir, and we also diag the temp dir, so we'll see what is the temp dir. Okay, and I just code OK1, so it will be happy that the done testing part. Okay, so proof t that one, right? So this is the temporary directory, and let me see how it worked out. It's empty. Why? Why is it empty? Examples, digest. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I'll give up. How to appeal and error? Okay, Stack Overflow, Meta cpan, file copy recursive. Is that that's what it's so now. File copy. That doesn't work recursively, right? It doesn't work for a directory. Really? We need to install a module in order to, I think this is not standard, right? So we'll need to install a module to create a recursive copy of these files. Well, I don't want to do that, okay? Do I have this module? I mean, I don't mind to install myself, but I don't want to put this now on the module if I'm going to send a Perl doc. It's installed, but I have no idea why. And I don't want to make it another dependency, because who likes dependencies? Especially for a test that just came. So, yeah, I can do mkdir temp dir. What do we need to? I can just copy each one of the files. That's bad, but maybe that's what I'm going to do. Unless someone comes up with an idea here in the chat room that I don't know. So it says features, and then the basic feature. That's the one thing that I need to copy. So examples, I just features, basic feature. This is one file I need to copy. Okay, it's just, I'm saying mkdir, but that's not what I mean there. Features, basic feature. And the other one is the step definitions, and in their basic steps. Step definitions and basic. I don't like it. No, I don't really don't like this. No. No. Let's go with this file copy recursively. Recursive. Use, and then it says dir copy. Okay, it says dir copy. QW. Oh, not this one. Dir copy. So we have this one, and then we have the dir copy examples to the temp dir. Okay, let's see what happens now. I run this code, new temporary directory. And here we are. Okay, so this worked. Okay, and so now I can at least run the test on this one. I copy these ones. I run the tests on this one, which is the temp dir. And what was there? So in the temp dir we have the features already. So I just run it on the temp dir, and that should still work. Okay, I can get rid of this. Okay, because now we have a okay, it didn't like me. Example, exit code of broken digest example. Okay, so far okay, it's 0. But first of all I change it back to clean up afterwards, so I won't have the directory there. I don't need this diag anymore. And what I would like to have now is copy with a star. I can try that one, but I don't think that will work. Let me go back to this one then. R0. So what whoever Anwar is suggesting is copy. It's better that all the users are just red. I don't know if they could switch colors. No, the Z color was green and I am blue, but all the other users I see them as red, and so I really have to read the username in order to find out who is this person. And maybe there could be emojis or I don't know what, so it's gonna be easier to recognize people. But for now, it's just everyone is just red. So what he suggested is this: to try copy, and then I could just copy digest /star, and maybe this would work. And I turn the cleanup off and I do the diag print, so we can. Okay, so I guess it's not there because the test failed. Yeah, so this copy didn't work. Okay, more ideas for the dir copy. Okay, I'll get. There should be something more simple without importing yet another module, which is like. Yeah, that's one of my complaints about the core of Perl, that I have to use module for copying a directory. That sounds like a CPAN module. Okay, I can't just use a module that comes with Perl. So now it's going to pass because let me try it again, because this one because we copied the file, everything, and it's passing. But what now I would like to do is go in examples, digest, features, basic feature, and change one character. So right, we had this. Well, for that I could actually read and write the file, but what I would like to do is read the basic feature file, and then replace something. Okay, I had it. Okay, this I wanted to replace it. So here too, I would like to be able to use file tiny or whatever it's called, because I like it. But I don't know if these are there. Maybe I can just try to do this pass tiny. I mean, all these modules moo and all these are there, so I really hope that we can use pass tiny. Pass tiny. Okay, so just let me check whether that would help me. Pass tiny. And I don't know if it can copy as well. I think it can copy as well, but I don't know. Copy copies the current path to the destination using file copies copy function. It only copies a file and the copyright. Huh. Well, we can try it. Pass tiny. I import this one and then I can pass my file name equals to the tempdir slash and then it's called features and basic feature. Features and basic feature. And I take the file name and slurp UTF-8. Okay, this is what I have here, slurp UTF-8. And then this is the content. Oops, my content. And then not this one. I'm getting tired. I think once I finish this, we'll stop the recording and everything. Maybe nobody's here anymore anyway, so I don't know. I should have at least some view on how many people are still here, but I don't right now. So I guess I would like to take this one, this line, and replace it with when I have, okay, in the content. Okay, still here. Okay, so this is the content, and now I'm going to write it out. Pass file name, and it spoo, I think, whatever that word in English that I never know. Spew. Spew, okay, spew UTF-8 and then content. Okay, so and this shouldn't be yeah, I guess one is I'm not sure if I don't watch myself, but maybe it's me. So it's Manvar and Will, and I don't know if anyone else. So maybe someone wants a third person. If there is a third person, raise the hands, but maybe it's just me. So I'm raising my hand. So we created this one, and then now I would like to run this. So I run this again. It's the new exit with the same with the temp there, and the new exit should be something. It shouldn't be 0, right? But it is now. Yep, an equal sign always helps. Okay, still some near past tiny, forgot semicolon, forgot the use. Okay, so here we have the 3 people. Good. Okay, so the test is passing, which is bad. Okay, we are expecting here something bad. What happens if we, I don't know, I never use this. I never have really good idea what isn't is good for. But this case is when I need isn't. Okay, when I don't really know what this exit code should be, it just shouldn't be 0. Okay, that's the only thing I know. I don't know it should be 1 or 255 or whatever. So now the test fails because I think that it shouldn't be 0. It should be anything else. Okay, good. So now we have a test case that is failing because okay. So how do I clean it up? So try to make some changes in the what is this? In the feature description, and expect a non-zero exit code. Okay. So I don't know what to do with this now. Okay, I have the temp directory, I have the dir copy, I use the pass tiny here. I don't need the copy because we removed that copy. We need the dir copy. I'm going to convert this into a subtest. Okay, subtest. Exit code. Okay, sub. We don't need this. Okay, this could be another subtest. Examples sub. Now I'm bad because I'm doing the refactoring and adding a new test case instead of just doing the refactoring or adding a new test case. So now if I run this should fail after a while. Yes, so this failed that test. Okay, so I'm going to add this test case now. Git status, git add. Let me see. Try to make some changes in the feature description and expect a non-zero exit code. Okay. Any recommendation? What shall I do with this? Besides saving it, git add, git commit -m add test that is expected to fail. Okay, so I have git remote now. I would like to push this out. Git remote -v, which is just the original one. So I need to have a browser here. This is the one. This is the repository. I'm going to where is this? Fork. I am part of about 10,000 projects or companies or organizations or what. Okay, so I'm cleaning, creating this one. Now I'm going to change. Don't look now. Okay, this is what I do. Okay, this is how I roll. Okay, instead of using the commands of git, I replace in the configuration file the URL. Okay, So voila, git remote now pointing to my own project. Okay, git status. Good, git push. So I can git push out. And okay, so now I have something here, and this thing, but I still don't know what to exactly to do with this. Probably there should be an issue. Okay, maybe what I do is I open an issue and point to this branch and ask the author if they want me to send a pull request with this, or I don't know. But what was this? Exit? Okay, sorry, exit, and the issue is not open. Failure exit code from Perkin does not work. So this is probably what Ferki mentioned. Here is another one. That was 2012. Okay, maybe my expectation is incorrect. Fixed. Okay, let me enlarge this. However, I can clearly add that I'm interested to do is why you're automating the use of Perkin rather than using Perl site test builder test. You can see example. I will however fix Perkin. Okay, thanks for raising. Okay, so probably I'll have to see how to use the not use Perkin for this. Okay, and maybe let's I don't know. Okay, now I just close this. Test BDD cucumber. So how should I use it here? This is how we should use it. Driving test using proof integration. Proof source feature minus X. But it's looking for the T directory. So what if I run this on the examples directory, no tests. Minus R. Okay, good. Okay, so now it ran the tests and it's like test, it's proof running it. So let's try to see what happens if we actually examples digest feature basic, and now if I change it manually, even just a small change, and I run the tests again. Okay, so now test fails. Okay, so I'm not sure if what we did is really necessary. I'm going to open a ticket with this. What time is it already? Late for me. Probably as well. Okay, so Erki says that that's okay. So okay. So well, first of all, I will see that the test fails in this case if I run this proof, and then we'll have to figure this out as well. But for now, we check with Perkin. So I git check out this thing. I don't want the change that I made there. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open an issue. Okay. exit. Perkin exits with 0 even though some of the what are these? Some of the examples digest some of the scenarios fail cannot be let's see this one. What happens if I change the expected output actually? Okay, so if I change the expected output and I run Perkin on examples digest, if I type it correctly, echo. So this gives an incorrect, but the other one that it just couldn't. You see, so when I change this value, the expected value, so the expectation is incorrect, then it gives me an exit code which is not non-zero. So that's okay, but what we did here is we changed the text. So the value should be still incorrect. Okay, but apparently it's just skipped the test. So what happens now? It's going to pass. Everything will be fine, blue and green, because I restored everything. Now I'm going to remove this one, and I'm also going to make a change here. If I manage to do this, okay, whatever. Okay, so now it's brownish because it couldn't parse it. And because it couldn't parse it, it didn't execute that test. And the exit code is 0. Okay? And you say that there is, someone wrote, Ferki, strict. Yeah, that didn't convince it. Oh, there you have. Okay, so Perkin strict will give me an exit code, 1. Okay, so what shall we do now? So let's assume that the current mode is correct. So let's improve our case. Okay, git. Where is the file? This is the file. Okay, git status, git checkout. Okay, so what I would like to do now is make sure that our tests. So now the expectation here, the expectation is going to be that is 0, and then I also run the same thing. I already lost my typing view. New where? Well, I'll have to. Okay, and this is going to be 1. Okay, and here I'm going to run system Perkin with strict. Okay, so now it should be proof T901. Am I right? Is that now this should pass because got 256. Well, almost. Okay, so I saw it was, I don't know. Okay, that was proof that gave me 1. Okay, and now this is Perkin, which gives me 256. I'm fine with either number as long as it's -1, I guess, right? 256, yeah. As long as it's not, it's actually 256. No, okay. No, I'm. That's the higher bit. So this is because it's the high bit. So I have to divide it by 256, and then I get the 1. But because but I can also compare it to 256. Okay, so now it works. And then another one that I would like to do is to change now, read it again and change this one. Okay, so the expected value I'm going to change. Okay. No, it's a okay. So I'm okay with the expectation here. So I'm going to change this one as well. So here is the code that makes this change. Okay, so let me have this change as well. And then now I'm changing, I mean, that's much better. And then I also I don't need this my, so it won't complain. And now this should also fail, right? Let's see. I got tired with this variable names, so maybe I go back. I'm not I don't really like reusing these variable names, because then I might easily make a mistake, but here is my friend. Okay, so what I'm doing now is creating these scopes. So my little exit variable will go out of scope, and I won't be bothered by mistakenly forgetting to assign and then checking. So having an impact of one test on another test. That's my worry. Okay, so let's see what goes on now. Okay, I used to use this empty curlies and before the subtests were added, and then after subtests I thought I don't need them, but it's actually fun to have them now. So it still exits with 0. Is that what we saw earlier? I'm not even sure. I don't remember what we saw here. So if I run Perkin without strict, and okay, no, the problem is not that. The problem is now it's different one. Let's say this one I have to change. So it still passes because it doesn't run this test. Okay, so now it gave me a 0 exit code because that test case was already broken, you see, by the change here when I changed the text. So it never executed the test because it couldn't parse it. And now, not this one, this one. Please fail, please fail. Oh, glad. Okay, got 512, so it's 2 basically. Exit code 2. So here we have 512. Okay. So I'm not sure if it's too valuable now, these tests, because maybe they were already tested somewhere else, that Perkin does this. But at least the first part, but I enjoyed it at least. Okay, so what we have now is that in the second test case, I also changed another test case, another scenario. I broke the expectation, and then the exit code was non-zero. Okay, try to make some change in the feature description and try to make some and expect a non-zero exit code when strict is provided, and this should be a separate test case. Exit code invalid. We can't parse it. Test incorrect test case, and then I could actually do this as a separate subtest. So this was one of them, and then I have a subtest which is called exit code for bad results. Okay, this is when the results are incorrect, and here we can also use the variable my content. Okay, I can declare it, and I can create a temporary directory here, and I can dir copy, and I also have the name of the file. Okay, so now these are two separate test cases, and then I don't need the curlies here, but let's see if I broke something. So basically I separated now the test case where I'm expecting where I'm changing the expected value, okay, from the test case where I just broke the description of the test. Okay, git diff. Okay, anything else? Description. Description. Thank you. Okay. More beeping on my phone. Git add, git ci -m add test case for a incorrect expectation or incorrect output. Test case for exit code of incorrect. Yeah, I could comment out this diag, but this thing prints out tons of which diag was there? Let me see. So this prints out anyway to lots of things. There's no diag here. Diag. No, they are all commented out. And the cleanup is all one, both of them. Yeah. Okay. So, and I pushed it out. Right. So I can now, instead of creating an issue, so there's no real issue now, I guess. Instead of that, I'm going to create a pull request, and then we'll see what goes on with this pull request. Okay. Okay, so we test the examples and also test Perkin. The exit code of Perkin when the example is not properly parsable. That's not how it's written. Or parable? What? It doesn't. That's not an English word. Parsable? Maybe that way. Okay. Is not properly parsable. When the output does not match the expected output. Okay, yeah, I'm sort of I'll create this pull request and see what's going on with this. Okay, so I guess that's gonna be enough for today. That for me, I liked it very much. That you were around here and listening to me trying to figure out what to do with here, and I hope that you also enjoyed it. And I'll see if the recording works, because I was trying to record this at the same time, and if it works, then I'll probably put it up on YouTube, so other people who want to see 2 hours of video, me trying to do something, and we'll see something and how it goes on, and let me know outside of this channel somewhere, somehow, what do you think, and how we could improve this, or what to do with this. Okay, so thank you very much for all of you for being around. Bye bye.